Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. This was a little bit of a pop-up event. So we are recording. And so anyone that wants the recording, or if people come in part way, then we will have that recording available to send out. Yay. So thank you so much for watching, for attending. Today, I have just really wanted to be talking about the Feelings Kit. It's been a while. And so we're going to focus on the Young Living Feelings Kit today. So I'm going to go ahead and I had the link for that. If I can find it now. I was going to go ahead and just slide that link in the chat so it's easy to find. And then if anybody also comes in, they'll know where to find it. This is a wish list link. So on the link is both the Feelings Kit and each of the oils come separately. So you can always buy those oils separately, but I do think it's the best deal buying them together because then you can do the whole protocol together. And there is a protocol that goes with it, although nothing comes in the box. So you can find the protocol online, or you can find it in our support community group on Facebook. So it's always available, but it doesn't necessarily come in the box. Okay, so once again, welcome. I want to thank you so much for being here and taking time out of your day to watch about how to use essential oils for your emotions. And I really love this topic because I feel like I forget about it a lot. And I've been using essential oils for well over a decade now. And in my practice as a nutritional therapy practitioner, I've found that a lot of our health problems can stem back to emotions. And one thing that I've done with my clients for the last couple of years is I'll do something that I call body mapping. And I take time with them to just kind of comb through, like not to dig up dirt, but like comb through their life and just look at different symptoms they've had along the way. And the reason I do that is because a lot of times they'll develop symptoms that correspond with an event in their life. And a lot of times we just don't seem to connect the dots on that level. We don't seem to, connect the dots and know, oh, like I may be experiencing this because I had an emotional event in my life that I wasn't really truly able to feel. And therefore, I'm developing these symptoms. And we know that modern day medical science doesn't connect those dots for us. And so there's lots of ancient traditions that do connect the dots, but typically in our Western culture, we don't. So I love that topic because of that because our, health events that we have throughout our life, if we truly want to be healthy, we really need to understand that we need to like really feel those emotions. And emotions are vibrations in the body. And sometimes they can be held on to and kind of in a way get stuck. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. First of all, once again, my name is Becky Webb. For anybody that doesn't know me, I am a nutritional therapy practitioner. I am a life coach, and I am a Young Living Diamond. And I started with Young Living back in April 2013. So it feels like a really long time getting started with Young Living. And I got started when my kids were very small in order to just support my family. And I wanted to see them healthy and thriving. And it's really been amazing over the years how we've used, especially kits like the Feelings Kit. I really love the Sleep and Release Kit for emotions as well. to really see better health comes with my family. Now, the sleep and release kit does have a protocol with it, and it is literally a forgotten, I think sometimes forgotten collection within Young Living that I adore because I've seen such great results with my kids when they were little. And so if you're looking for something for extra emotional support, I would say either go with one of these two and just try it out and see how it goes, because really, these oils really can bring up and stir up our emotions that we may have kind of forgotten about, honestly, like forgotten that they were kind of just in there, right? So today, I just want to, jump into a little bit more about that. We have this mind body emotional connection that is rarely acknowledged. And your emotions are actually not just in your head, right? So a lot of times I think we kind of have this idea that our emotions are just in our head, we're just thinking about them, but they're actually chemical and physical events in our body. And so when we feel fear, we have adrenal glands release adrenaline. When we feel love, we have our oxytocin that floods our system. And so your emotions are really this biological footprint. There is a doctor, let's see if I can find a little bit extra information on her because she's fascinating. Her name is Dr. Candace Pert. And Dr. Pert is a neuroscience at the NIH, and she discovered that molecules of emotion are neuropeptides. And they're found literally throughout our entire body. And so this is literally something that stores our emotional history. So I find that really fascinating because she says that these molecules of emotion are found literally all over our body. They're in our brain, they're in our nervous system, they're in our organs, they're in our immune cells, and they're even in our gut. And so that's really telling us again that our emotions aren't just thoughts, they're physical experiences that we have happening throughout our entire body. So literally every time you feel these feelings, joy, fear, grief, stress, those signals are communicated chemically and can influence how the body functions. So our body doesn't just experience emotions, it literally participates in those emotions. And so when people say the body stores emotional history, then we really have to understand that like these emotions that are repeated, and especially the ones that are even unresolved kind of get, well, I shouldn't even say kind of, they get embedded in the body's signaling system. And so they become patterns, like they'll literally become patterns within the body. So they can influence things like tension, energy, our immune response, our overall health. And so that's the thing. This is, scientifically backed that our emotions aren't just in our head, that they're literally in our whole entire body. And so your body is always receiving, it's responding, and it's remembering what you feel. And so I like to share with my clients that all inputs from our environment, whether it be the sunshine or the breeze on your face, is inputs into your body, into your nervous system, and so are your emotions. So I feel like this is really powerful because sometimes, a lot of us have been taught to kind of push down those emotions in a lot of ways. And so I feel like, it's important to remember that your emotions are really valuable. They're valuable inputs into your environment. So the limbic system is your emotional center of your brain. So, and that the limbic system will govern your memory, your mood, your fear, and your motivation as well. So, smell is not only the sense that there's this direct, unfiltered pathway to the limbic system, and that's what smell is. Smell like directly influences your limbic system. Every other sense every other sense in the body will pass through your thalamus first. So, smell can instantly trigger a memory or emotion, right? Grandma's cookies. You can walk and maybe smell a flower and remember an event. There's just grandma's perfume. Like there's so many like nostalgia kind of things that come up from smells. And so we can, attest to the fact that this pathway directly influences the brain in that way. And our essential oils do the exact same thing. They can literally do the exact same thing. So emotions, we talked about a little bit. You can often feel stuck. A lot of people will say, I feel stuck. Maybe you felt stuck before in your emotions or we call it stuck, but it's really an emotional thing to be stuck, right? You don't really get stuck, but you can feel stuck. So when we go through something overwhelming, and this can be anything stressful in your life, anything traumatic in your life, or maybe it's just something that's a repeated emotional strain. Your nervous system has one job, just one job. And that one job is to protect you. So sometimes that protection doesn't really look like fighting or running away. Sometimes it looks like freezing, overwhelm. Overwhelm is the nervous system in a freeze state. And in that moment, the body says, this is too much to process right now. Like, we'll deal with it later. And later doesn't always come, right? Because we can kind of perpetually get stuck in the stuck state. So instead of being, fully processed, that experience can get stored in the body as a pattern. So this overwhelmed feeling, right, is really that freeze state in the nervous system and can become a perpetual pattern if you're feeling overwhelmed all the time. Personally, I felt overwhelmed like a ton in my life. And it's always been like Tony Robbins. I followed him for a long time and he calls it like a pattern interrupt. Like you have to interrupt the pattern to get out of that stuck feeling state. Sense can actually help to interrupt some of that pattern. So instead of, when that pattern gets set in place and you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed over and over again, it gets stored in the body. That's when your emotions are kind of like not moving. They're not being felt, they're not being pushed through the system really. And over time, overwhelm can also show up as anxiety. It can show up as irritability or feeling on edge. It can show up as an emotional numbness or disconnection. It can be tight shoulders. It can be tight muscles, a tight back, a clenched jaw. It can even be a constant wired feeling. It can be feelings of depression. And so it doesn't mean that something is wrong with you. It just means that you are literally stuck in a pattern, right? An emotional pattern or a place of feeling like you can't or have a hard time or won't really feel those emotions. Because I know a lot of times when I've talked about this very topic, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I'm afraid to go there because they've had trauma. There's a oil we're going to talk about called release. A lot of people in the past have been so afraid of release because of what it's going to feel like. And so what we have to remind ourselves in our head is it's just an emotion. It's okay to feel. And so if you're someone that has a struggle with any of these things like, oh my goodness, I don't want to go back there, it's too painful. I think we need to remind ourselves it's just an emotion. It's okay to feel. And that's something that's easy to forget because we don't want to be in pain. And I understand that. But at the same time, when these emotions get stuck, or like just don't move through the body as they should, it will be an opportunity to develop disease. Now, there's been lots of studies done for cancer patients. And a lot of times they do have a traumatic background. And so it's just interesting the correlations there are between disease and not be able to feel our emotions. And I feel like, some of us come from families that just were not, did not feel emotions very well, or did not even allow for emotions to be felt in some ways. And as a kid, you pick that stuff up. As a kid, you're like, oh, this is how it's supposed to be, right? And so we have to remember that sometimes it was just a patterned response that we learned as a child. And then when you are an adult now, we know this now, we're like, okay, it's just an emotion. It's going to be okay. And that's the thing. We have to give our body the support that it needs to understand that it's going to be okay. Because once again, what happens with our nervous system, like, why does this happen? It's because our nervous system becomes in a flight, fight, or freeze state, or fawn, where we kind of are tempted to feel like we're going to run away. And so your nervous system is trying to keep your body safe by responding this way. But health comes when we can kind of feel it and let it go. So today I want to talk about the Feelings Kit. And I love it because there are 6 essential oil blends created specifically to support our emotional wellness with this particular kit. And each blend will target a specific emotional layer. So anything from releasing the past to building resilience to stepping into joy and confidence. So the kit has kind of a progression, which I love. And you can, of course, use it either aromatically, topically, and a lot of these oils I probably wouldn't recommend internally, but at times we can use our oils internally, but I'd stick with these topically and aromatically. So each oil, we're going to start with Valor. And I love Valor. I couldn't find, I thought I had a Feelings Kit, and I realized I didn't. It was out of stock for a while. So it's a treat that it is in stock right now. And once again, you can buy the whole kit. It's a really great deal to buy them all together, or you could buy them the oils separately. So when you buy the whole kit, they come in 5 milliliters. And when you buy them separately, some of them actually can come in 15 milliliters. And so depending on what you want to work on with your emotions, I mean, maybe it would be helpful for you to have some 15 milliliter, like just the larger bottles. But Valor is very grounding. So this is your courage and confidence oil, Valor. And it has in it, so, there's been a couple different, I have 2 bottles of Valor here, actually. This is a newer looking one, and this is the older looking one. The newer one has the rosewood in it. Yes, the rosewood. And the rosewood, I think, really makes it. For a while, we could not get rosewood. And so one of the formulations doesn't have rosewood. So if you haven't purchased Valor in a while, get the one with rosewood. It's like amazing. And it's a blend of black spruce, black tansy, camphor wood, rosewood, and then there's some Botswana in here. Y'all, I'm 45 and I need some reading glasses these days. I need to have some reading glasses around. I either drink more Ningxia or get some reading glasses. So Valor, and it also has geranium and frankincense. So Valor is also known as the chiropractor in the bottle. It can help align the spine We also use it in the raindrop technique, and you use it on the feet and because it can help align the body. It's really good at that. It's known to bring physical and emotional alignment. So you can apply it to the bottoms of your feet, and it can be really helpful that way. And in this protocol, even, it's good applied to the bottoms of feet. But you can also, if you're just wanting to, like, say at night before bed, you want to do your feelings kit, I think that's a really great time. Or you can do it in the morning. It's good to pick, like, a series of days to do it, maybe 30 days, maybe 2 weeks, and just like see how your feelings change. And then you can go, week to week or whatever works for your schedule. But I love to have like established time where I do it every day. So the morning or the evening is great. But Valor is about standing in strength. So it's about courage. It's about standing in strength, and just can help connect you to feeling safe, right? So once again, we want our nervous system. The whole point of using the oils in this way is for your nervous system to feel safety. And so when you use your oils, also put that in your brain. And so using Valor on the soles of the feet, on the feet, is that you can even say to yourself, I am safe. I am safe to move forward. And this is not even like telling ourselves, telling ourselves this out loud can be, I think, like a game changer. You are safe. You are safe to move forward. It's almost like a lot of times we have to give ourselves permission, right? A lot of times we realize that we're actually holding ourselves back because we feel like we don't have permission, whether it's from, certain ways we had as a child or growing up, or maybe even now, like felt like we didn't deserve permission or whatever, but you do. So this is reminding yourself you are safe. You can move forward. And so start with Valor on the soles of the feet. And you can actually even do it twice a day if you want to try it twice a day. Do what works for you. So that would be your first oil. Your second oil would be Harmony. Now, I did find some Harmony. Yay. It also smells so good. I don't know. It smells like it's very floral. So you have geranium, coriander, ylang ylang, bergamot, jasmine, Roman chamomile. Your Harmony, I love these emotional oils. I'm like, I need to start doing this kit a lot. The Harmony is designed to promote physical and emotional harmony and well-being. So this is an equalizer. So when things feel chaotic, overwhelming, off balance, Harmony will bring everything back to a center. It's very powerful for those who are very empathetic, or if you feel like you're someone that's very sensitive, like you absorb energy from other people easily. Like if you feel like you can feel people's emotions, this is a really great oil for you to use all the time. So it's very powerful. Harmony. So we're kind of layering the oils here. So you can use Valor on your feet. And then Harmony is great for balance and alignment. So it's really great used on the back of the neck. You can use it on your wrists. I love to do that, in that order. You can apply over your heart, the Harmony. And I think when you're using this, it's great to also say things to yourself like, I'm calm, I'm relaxed, I'm balanced. God's bringing the right things towards me. God's bringing the right things my way. Sometimes we need to give ourselves permission to feel calm, right? I think sometimes we get in these patterns where things are chaotic and we just let them continue that way. Harmony is a great one to stop letting things continue being chaotic. Forgiveness. I am out of forgiveness. I did not find my forgiveness. So I don't even have it to sniff for you. But forgiveness is part of releasing and letting go. That's what forgiveness is about. So it's a soothing blend of melissa, geranium, frankincense, royal Hawaiian sandalwood, coriander, lang lang. And it is very emotionally complex. You can apply this over your belly button. This is kind of your emotional center of the body. Or you could just hold it and breathe it in, or both. Forgiveness isn't about, condoning what happened. It's really about releasing the hold that resentment has on your body or over your future. So forgiveness is a great one to use every day, and to maybe even say a little prayer while you're putting it on or you're breathing it in, and just asking God to bring anything to mind or anyone to mind that you need to forgive. Melissa in forgiveness is also called lemon balm, and it has been used throughout time to gently support grief and emotional pain. So it's very deeply gentle and very powerful. So who we need to most forgive is sometimes other people, but it's often also ourselves. So I think when we're applying forgiveness, we also need to remember to ask yourself what you need to forgive yourself for. And we find that also as another emotional pattern that kind of causes a lot of stuckness, is that we can't forgive ourselves, or we feel like we did something wrong, and we can't have that, forgiveness for ourselves, which also in turn makes it very difficult to forgive others. And so forgiveness can be used in a lovely way to not only support caring for others, but caring for ourselves. Okay, release. So release, remember there's 6 oils in this kit. Release is another one that people are, release is probably the number one that people are scared of, which probably because it's known for releasing anger and negativity. I don't know why we like to hang on to those things. Sometimes, all of us, I think at times, maybe like to hang on to anger and negativity at times. And so it's a very grounding, earthy blend of lang lang, lavender, geranium, royal Hawaiian sandalwood, and blue cypress. And it's designed to facilitate the release of anger, frustration, and emotional blocks. So you can apply this one over your liver. You will find your liver, if you don't know where it is, on the right side underneath your rib cage of the body. It's kind of even the size of like your hand. So if you put your hand down on your rib cage, no, not the right side, the left, yes, the right side of your body. Like the left side's the spleen, the right side's the liver. So if you even put your hand over your underneath your rib cage on the right side of your body, that is where is a great place to put your release. In Eastern medicine, or traditional Chinese medicine, the liver is known to be associated with holding anger and emotional stagnation. So release is known to work at a deeper layer than forgiveness. So, obviously it's very important to forgive, but then release helps the body physically let go of what is stored in the tissue. So you can place that release, right over that liver. And sometimes people notice like physical sensations of warmth, or they release, like they can feel some sort of release. Sometimes people just start crying. I've seen it happen. But either way, everybody reacts differently. So if those things don't happen to you, there's nothing wrong with you. It works with everyone differently. Remember that people are prepared at different times to really kind of release different things. So practicing this on a regular basis, whether it's every day for a while or every other day for a while or a couple times a week, can really help your body to, release any of the anger, stuck emotions that you don't want there anymore. Um, and this is also a really great kit that if you have any friends that you know could use some emotional support to introduce to them. And I'll send out this video. So you're welcome again to send the video to them and then send them your enrollment link and invite them to try it out because it's really game changer. So then the next oil we're going to talk about is called Present Thyme. And I do have some Present Thyme here. It's a very lovely blend of neroli, spruce, and ylang ylang, and it's formulated to help quiet the mind's tendency to dwell on the past or worry about the future. So it's really bringing awareness fully into the present moment. It smells incredible, like so incredible. Actually, I realize I need this right now. I'm sitting here smelling these and I'm like, oh yes, I need to buy another kit. This has always been one of my favorites. So a great place, I just did it. I don't think I said it out loud, is apply it behind your ears because this is a really powerful energy point in the body is behind the ears. So you can also apply it at the base of your skull because it helps to bring you into the present time. Now, one thing I've learned from working with clients over the years is that disease is always like that dis-ease in the body happens often when we're stuck in the past or maybe fearful about the future. When we come into the present time, when we come into now, we can remind ourselves, I'm okay. Everything's okay right now in the now. And so grounding and being present is a very important part of the life. I feel like we were meant, not that we don't need to plan for the future and things, but I feel like we were meant to live in the future or in the present. In the present is where we can love people well. We can see, good things about people. We can enjoy people. And that is the present time, right? I mean, we can be grateful for someone, maybe from something they did, but you really enjoy another person in the present. You really even enjoy your own strengths in the present time. And so I want you to really get this in your head because part of what we miss from whether it's like everything on social media or, just all the things about being worried about the future is that we can easily miss being in the present. And every human being does it. And I think it's probably easier to do it now in this time more than ever. And so we need to remember that emotional suffering, like peace, resides in the present time. And neroli in this blend is one of the most precious and emotionally supportive oils in aromatherapy. It's deeply calming, and it has historically been used for grief and nervous tension. And neroli is actually a very expensive oil, but it's amazing for calming. So it's nice to find it in a blend like this. So present time, yeah, behind the ears. I did say where to use that, right? Yes. Behind the ears. All right. And then our last blend to talk about is inner child. Was that 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Okay. So our last blend to talk about today with the feelings kit is inner child. Inner child blend is about reconnecting with joy and authenticity. It's funny because over the years, a lot of people talk about it smelling like Fruit Loops. Like, I don't think it smells like Fruit Loops, but I didn't eat Fruit Loops growing up a whole lot. But it is a bright citrus blend of orange, tangerine, ylang ylang, royal Hawaiian sandalwood, jasmine, lemongrass, spruce, and neroli. So it was really designed to reconnect adults with their sense of wonder, playfulness, and true self. I don't know if you all are familiar at all with Bob Goff. Bob wrote some really great books. Actually, all his books are great. I'm trying to think of the name of his books off the top of my head, but he is one of those people to me that just exudes this inner child. And so you want to be around him. He's just like very fun, lighthearted, and just connects people to God. And so I love him. And so I love to see his stuff. I've actually personally been around him. And he put his phone number in the back of all his books because he wants to be available to people. And it's literally his phone number. And so went to a retreat one time with him there and literally listened to him pick up a call from someone. And he doesn't spend a lot of time on the phone with people, but he wants to be available. So he's like, hey, like he'll listen to them for a minute, like give them some encouraging words. And so to me, like some of that is inner child. Like some of us like, oh my gosh, I couldn't do that, which is fine. It's not for everybody, but at the same time, it's like, how can we really encourage this inner child part of us that is full of joy and authenticity and love and all these things that as adults get lost a lot of times. So once again, this can also be applied to your belly button, or it can be diffused, or you can put it, on your wrist and just think and reconnect with maybe something fun, like even saying a prayer like, Lord, like, what can I do that's fun? And I've been trying to actually reconnect with that a lot lately, personally, on a personal level. And I've just been asking that question a lot. Like, what's fun? What can I do that's fun? How can I enjoy people more? How can I enjoy like the creativity God gave me more? How can I play? How can I dream? How can I wonder? Because oftentimes a lot of emotional wounding can begin in our childhood, but inner child really gently invites that younger self back to the surface and reminds the body that it's safe and it's supported. And so I think this oil can like literally make you smile. I just still think it's funny that people are like, oh my gosh, it smells like Fruit Loops. Like, okay. But it's just a calm, relaxing smell. So did any of these oils speak anything to you? All of them? Mary Beth says all of them. They are really, I mean, it's really actually a really amazing protocol and kit that I wish I had used, or I wish I've used more recently. So here's once again kind of the recommended protocol. We talked a little bit about where to apply them, but I'll just go over it real quick. So Valor, right to the soles of your feet, to be grounded first, to really even set your intention. Harmony, just over some of the main energy centers of your body, which can be your heart, it can be your navel, even your forehead. Forgiveness, you can apply over your belly button. And you can even, ask those questions. What can I release? What do I need to let go of? Who do I need to forgive? Do I need to forgive me? Who do I need to forgive for others? Release. That's a great one for over the liver, right side under your rib cage. Release is also great to diffuse. Present time behind your ears. Present time is about coming back to the present now. Inner child, again, over your navel, diffusing it, reconnecting with yourself on your wrist even. So I'd say for all of these oils, just a few tips. Your consistency matters more than the intensity. So even if you just did it for 5 minutes a day, you don't have to spend an hour doing it unless it's really a powerful moment for you and you have that time. But even 5 minutes is game changing. I think we can underestimate the power of just a little time that's present and grounded. It's great also possibly to pair with journaling. So I was watching someone the other day and I meant to go find a study, But there's a study that says that when you journal in whether it be like past things or present, like whatever you're thinking, I guess you're always journaling kind of past things. And you share how you're feeling in that journal, it kind of helps to rewrite your brain. So it can help to actually move your emotions while journaling. And then if you're using the essential oils along with it, you can have an even more powerful journaling session. And all of this really is, again, can help moving those things out of the body that may have been stuck there for a while. And is if you really trust the process, which a lot of times, we have to also train our brain to kind of trust the process because we're like, that probably doesn't work. But if you really trust the process, emotional shifts can be subtle at first, but over days and weeks, you probably will notice that you're reacting differently, that you're maybe less reactive. Maybe if you have struggled with anxiety, you're less anxious. Maybe you're more calm. Maybe you're more like trusting. Maybe you have more faith that everything is okay and that God is totally in control. So you don't have to do it every single day. And you don't even have to do all 6 every single day. If you gravitate to one oil at a time more than the other, maybe you just need that for the day. So this is also a great way to really practice your intuition. It's a really fantastic way to practice that. And that's one thing I think a lot of times that we're lacking is practicing that intuition. Right? So I'm just going to close this up. And if I want to remind anybody, if y'all have any questions, you are welcome to send me an email. Becky@beckyjwebb.com is my email. You are more than welcome to ask any questions about these. These are just a really beautiful way to start to release those things that you don't need anymore, baggage that you may have been carrying for a really long time. Mary Beth, do you have any questions?
Everyone I had, you answered in the summary. So
Oh,
at the
perfect.
end. So
Great. Well, if you think of anything else, send me an email. Let me know.
okay, will do.
Okay. Well, wonderful. So I think it's just really important to remember your emotions are not your enemy. You're not your enemy. Our bodies really are so intelligent. We have this very intelligent communication system. And so when things are coming up physically, our body is asking for attention. It's not asking for us to suppress things. A lot of times, I know personally, my go-to is to try to suppress things. We don't want to be in pain. But essential oils are really one of the oldest and most beautiful tools that we have. And they're beautiful for supporting our system gently, naturally, powerfully. The Feelings Kit is not a magic wand, but it is a daily practice. So it's good to use often, regularly, get in some kind of habit, even if it's a few times a week. And I think you'll really see some major shifts. So once again, if you are new, if you're a new customer, if I invited you to this video, message me and I can give you my link for the Feelings Kit. If someone else sent you this video, make sure that you ask them for their link for the Feelings Kit. If you want to get started, make sure you support your friends. You can always have access to my education. I'm happy to share it. So make sure you support your friends and your people and the people that love you enough to send you this to help. And yeah, I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you for being here. And I hope you have just a wonderful day. Thank you.